In some ways, it's the war of the past. Columns of tanks from one country invade a neighboring nation, conquering territory, even raising flags from the past. In other ways, this is the war of the future, displaying massive use of weapons rarely used before, at least not officially.
Drones are enabler for better strategy and better use of how to solve the issue in the battlefield of humanity, of accuracy in attack.
Drones and UAVs have been around for years, but were used mostly for intelligence gathering and reconnaissance. If they were used for offensive purposes, it was usually kept secret. It was only a few weeks ago that Israel acknowledged it has been using them this way. Russia, however, is not hiding the fact that drones are of the utmost importance in its current war in Ukraine.
In the near future, the Russian government must set up a national project to ensure the broad use of drones along with a high level of localization and manufacturing and training of personnel for unmanned aviation.
It's not only the Russians. The Ukrainian army is extensively using drones to hit the big and undefended Russian convoys and even within Russia itself. Much of the turnaround seen in the battlefield during the summer months is attributed to those drone strikes. Why are drones more useful than the conventional rockets used for decades now? The answer is accuracy. Once a rocket is sent, there's usually no control over its path. A UAV or a drone packed with explosives and controlled from the ground can hit the target exactly without putting boots on the ground or pilots in the air and exposing them to danger.
There is a different effect from a huge bomb to an accuracy. So the drones uses for accuracy, and it supports the decision makers not to make big mistakes.
So both Ukraine and Russia are constantly using drones, but demand is much larger than local supply. Kiev is counting on the West, but it's a different story for Moscow. This is where another player comes in, one that is very worrying for Israel.
Russia has received drones from Iran, that this was part of Russia's plan to import hundreds of Iranian UAVs of various types, and that Russian operators continue to receive training in Iran on how to use these systems.
Both Moscow and Tehran continuously denied these reports, but the facts on the ground tell a different story.
Overnight, the enemy used 24 Iranian Shahed 136 drones. All of them were destroyed by the defense forces of Ukraine.
The drones are mostly destroyed now, but the Ukrainian skies are the perfect playground for Iran to observe and learn.
We use new tactics and new weapons to deal with our enemies, both close and far.
Should we expect Iran or any other nation to use offensive drones in a future war? Experts following this issue have no doubt.
Automation and unmanned systems are going to be even more integral as we move forward into the future, not just for military applications, but for civil as well. The technology is cross-cutting and can be applied on both sides, but it's becoming ubiquitous, and it's becoming a lot more user-friendly as well.
Infantry and armored vehicles are still the elements needed for victory on the battleground, but drones and UAVs are now an integral part of the offensive arsenal.